Success, as you can see, is supremely important. Success, as you see, is a huge driving force. Success, as you can see, is what brings the best out of a person. Success makes us believe that we are capable. Success feeds our dreams. That's why they very rightly say nothing succeeds like success. And to be successful, the first very important step which Rutuja teaches us is have an extraordinary big goal. And when you have an extraordinary big goal, there will be fear. And if you remember, we discussed in one session, fear destroys more potential than failure does. Fear stops us from even attempting. Failure, like Rutuja said, is first attempt in learning. How beautifully she said that. So success is an extraordinary thing to happen to all of us. This session is about how to create success in your life. If you had a magic wand today, and let's say you have enjoyed this interaction with Rutuja, you enjoyed the spotlight, you enjoyed the question answers, and if you wish that you were also reported and you were also on the covering page of a magazine, you were there in the front page of a newspaper for having done something exceptional. So let me ask this to you. If you had the magic wand, the power to make things happen, what would your wish be? Let me ask you this question. If you had the power to make things happen, if you had that magic wand, if you had a genie with you, what kind of a success would you like to experience in your life? Just take a minute and think about it. Imagine you don't have to put anything and your desire has to become a reality. What kind of a goal would you like to have in your life? Okay. Your time to think about your desires is done. I request you to write down on a sheet of paper what is that desire of yours which you would want to become a reality. Chalo. Take 15 seconds and write down the desire. Like Rutuja wrote down her marks and what she wants to be, write down on a piece of paper. What's your desire? What's the goal? What's the success? Okay. Now here is a question for all of you. And this session will be highly interactive, probably more interactive than any session before. Imagine God is very kind and He decides to pass a law. And the law is any desire you have, it will become a reality. Imagine God passes this desire, this goal, this rule, this law, that any desire you have will become a reality. If this law is passed, what will happen to the world? If your desires and dreams are about making this world a beautiful place to live in, for example, you want to eradicate all hunger from this planet. Beautiful. If you want all children to have free education, beautiful. But if every child has free education, then what happens to people who have invested money in creating schools? And there is no fees which is coming now. Now what happens to them? And when these schools are not able to get fees, what happens to the teachers? What happens to the suppliers? Some chaos, right? Now imagine we don't have these extraordinary goals for the society. Imagine we have a little personal goals. For example, I have this very beautiful pen with me. This is a Mont Blanc pen, which is a limited edition. It is called Jonathan Swift pen. About 100 such pens were made in the world, and one of my friends, Samir Latkat, when he was in Dubai, he likes the life school messages that we write, and he said, this limited edition pen, Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels and all, this pen should be with Naren. He bought that pen and gave it to me as a gift. Now imagine you like this pen, and your wish is, if only I had this pen. Next moment, what will happen? If whatever you desire has to become a reality, this pen won't be there on my table anymore. It will become gayab. And there it will be on your table. And I might keep searching for it. And tomorrow if Samir meets me and says, Naren, how are you using the pen? Are you enjoying it? What would I say? Yaar, pata nahi, I was a little careless, gayab ho gaya. If all our dreams become a reality just like that, there will be chaos in the world. Why? I'll come to that in a little while. To ensure that chaos in the world does not happen, existence created a law, and the law says, in life, you will not get what you desire. In life, you will not get what you desire. How beautiful and easy life will be if we can just get what we desire. Why is there a rule that you will not get what you desire? Let's share a few things. Imagine you are traveling and there is a car which is coming from peak speed from the other side. At that time, do you have a thought, oh my God, accident is going to happen and I'm going to die? If all your desires become reality, what happens now? You are dead, case closed. Instead of holding your shoulders and talking with you, I'll have to give you my shoulders and carry you. Nakko baba, nahi chahiye. Imagine you are carrying a little extra cash than what you are comfortable with. Let's say in your wallet there are a few thousand rupees. And you find somebody coming from the other side who looks like a goon or a gunda. Now do you visualize, ये ना मेरे को लूटने के लिए आया, ये मेरा ना पैसा लेके जाएगा पक्का. What happens now? Poof, your money is gone. Imagine you're working in a company and you have this thought that you're going to lose your job. In the night, that's the dream you have. I have lost my job. I am on the roads. I'm not getting another job. I'm very pareshan. Now imagine that these thoughts become a reality. Now what happens to you? Imagine you have a close relationship. You love that person loves you. But then that person one day is becoming a little close to somebody else also. Do you visualize that you might lose your importance in that relationship? You visualize that the other person does not need you anymore. You realize that they don't prefer you as the first person to talk to go out with, and suddenly you feel very alone, you feel like crying. Imagine you're traveling by air and the aircraft goes through an air pocket and the aircraft shakes a little. And you just read about the airport accident which happened in Kerala. And you also remember Kobe Bryant who died in a helicopter crash. Now somewhere in your mind you start thinking, oh my God, my aircraft is also going to go through a crash. If your thoughts have to become real, Imagine you are in a amusement park and you're there in that giant wheel. Do you imagine that what if you're thrown out of the seat? आज तक हुआ नहीं है, but what if you are the first person with whom an accident happens like that? And in your mind, you can visualize you are being thrown out, and that creates chaos inside. Now imagine all that you dream becomes a reality. Now what happens? Imagine then you say, I think it is a little more than friendship, you see. And normally your heart beats at 80 beats per minute, and right now it's beating at 240 beats per minute. Dhak, 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 dhak. Madhuri Dixit was right. Dhak, dhak karne laga. Something like that. You say that, and suddenly she becomes serious. She's not looking at you anymore. She's looking down. And your mind is like, oh my gosh, what have I done? I shouldn't have done it. And in the language of the youth, that word shit will definitely come out in those moments. And then she smiles, looks at you and says, idiot? I mean, imagine if this kind of a thing happens in your life, how beautiful. And I'm sure this must be the real life story of some of you. I'm sure some of you would have gone through this. Maybe with this as the end result, or maybe that as an end result. The advantage is I've never been to college, so all these are not a part of my life story. But imagine before her reply, when you were visualizing she's going to beat you, you're going to miss your friend, and if that has to become a reality, then what happens? Life is kind. Life wants to reward you. Life wants you to help yourself to achieve your desires. But we are not masters of our thoughts. We are not masters of our imagination. And because words like fear and guilt and anger come so often to us, if what we desire has to become a reality, we will end up destroying ourselves and each other. Hence, life made this rule: in life, you will not get what you desire. But it loves you and it wants to give you your dreams. So life then followed it up with another statement, and that statement was, in life, you won't get what you desire. You will get what you deserve. Rutuja got the marks that she got, not just because she desired, but because she deserved it. And there is a very beautiful and a simple formula by which we can convert whatever we desire into something that we deserve in our life. This session is about the mantra of success, on what helps a person convert what they desire into something that they deserve. And as I give the examples, you would be able to visualize Rutuja, and you will find unknowingly she has implemented this formula in life. As I discuss this formula with you, you will realize the big, mega, fantastic, heart-throbbing, jaw-dropping successes that you have got because of this formula. And in case we have not got what we wanted, one or two elements about this formula was missing and not in place. You know, the way Aladdin had a formula if he has to go outside the cave. Was it Aladdin? No, it was Alibaba. Remember Alibaba in 40 chores? When Alibaba would want something, this is the formula he had. Khulja, sim sim. Oh, thank you so much for not having a bald Alibaba. Khulja, sim sim. Well, if you open your books and say Khulja sim sim and you expect treasures to come, it is not going to happen. The formula which worked for Alibaba will not work for you and me unless your name is Alibaba. And last, when I saw the sheet, nobody's name as a KMM volunteer was Alibaba. So let me give you another formula by which you will get in life everything that you desire. Because with that formula, you have converted what you desire into what you deserve. The first part of the formula is efforts. To convert what I desire into something that I deserve, I need to put in efforts. No one else can do it for me. Let's say, for example, health. I want to be fit. I have to put the efforts. Um, let's say I take annual membership of the gym for my son Neeraj. And I tell him, go and work out in the gym, but I should become fit. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. So if I want fitness, I want health, I have to put efforts. If Rutuja wants success in exams, it is she who has to put the efforts. If efforts are not put in the right direction, how much effort? As much required. Some of us create some ration ka dukan when it comes to effort. We put the effort we are comfortable with, where the truth is, we need to put the effort which is required. If I want to put 2 hours effort and want to produce results, but the effort which is required is 6 hours of effort. And I look at my 2 hours and say, यार 2 घंटा मेहनत किया ना और क्या करूं? No, I did put effort, but that effort was not enough. So it is not just effort, but as much as it takes, as much as required, as much as necessary, that much effort I am willing to put. Which means I'm not going to count my effort also. As long as results don't come, I'm going to put my efforts. This kind of an effort. Besides effort, what else? The efforts that I put in has to be self-driven. Look at the statement on the screen. Between what we do and what we can do, all our issues can be solved. Often, we don't do what we can do. We do much less than what we can do. When I ask people about social work, some of them with a lot of pride will say, I will educate one child in my life. I was talking to a very dear person in America day before yesterday, and she was very disturbed with the physical abuse which women go through in a marriage. And I asked her, why don't you start a community movement? Why don't you get 10 women together? Why don't you start saying Friday evening, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we are available in case anybody wants to come to us. And if somebody is battered, why not provide her emotional support, or through your connections, provide them some support for learning something, or maybe an opportunity to make a little money. And she said, my heart really pains when I see what these women are going through. And all the suggestions I was giving seemed to be falling on deaf ears. The heart is paining, but if I am not self-driven, I will not do what I can do. I will speak and I will think it should get solved. Why did we start Bharat at 100? To solve this issue exactly. It is good to be concerned, but action is any day more powerful than concern. The saying is, the hands that help are much more powerful than the lips that pray. And action happens when a human being is self driven. When a self drive is not there, effort will not happen. When self drive is not there, we will speak it and give it to existence for it to solve. भगवान किसी को दुख नहीं देना चाहिए, and we will end our responsibility over there. Doesn't work that way. You want India to be on top of the world, self-driven effort. You don't have to transform India, but can you do something about yourself in a way by which it will play an important role in the transformation? And it's possible for you and me. If Rutuja, who is staying near Junnar with no tuition classes whatsoever, can get 99.6%, it is possible for you and me. Between what we can do and what we actually do lies a huge gap. And the reason for that gap is self-motivated, self-driven effort. When efforts are self-driven, we are able to sustain it. When efforts are self-driven, we enjoy it. So you would have seen when Rutuja was speaking about studying, she's enjoying studies. If there is an obstacle, she is overcoming it. When the efforts are self-driven, we overcome the obstacles that comes on our place. There are three kinds of students. And mirror yourself with these three kinds. One kind of a student who does much more than what the teacher expects. Another kind of a student who does what is expected by the teacher from that child. And then there is a third who says, I will do less than what the teacher expects. Who has greater drive? The proof of self-drive is you want to do more than what is expected out of you. If you have a dream that you want to desire, let there be self-drive, self-motivation in your efforts. Imagine that I'm very excited with all the volunteers of Keep Moving movement, and we decide to go on a picnic. If we decide to go on a picnic, will you come? Free picnic, no cost. Will you come? I know the ladies will definitely come because एक दिन काम से थोड़ा छुट्टी मिले. And I know most men will also come because picnics at life school में बहुत मजा आता है. Now imagine we do buses from life school office to reach the venue of the picnic. And let's say the venue of the picnic is somewhere near Mulshi Dam. About 1.5 hours drive from Pune. And the bus is there below life school office. We decided to leave as early as 6 o'clock so that we can reach the venue around 7:30 so that we can have a sumptuous breakfast and have a great day together. Now we had requested the bus driver to come in the night itself so that early in the morning he doesn't oversleep and therefore misses. Even if he oversleeps, he's still sleeping inside the bus so we can still start on time. People start coming from 5:30, those three different kinds of people. And I know there will be some who will come at 6:02, 6:03, huffing and puffing, ek minute ruko. All these three kinds will always be there. Now imagine all of us sit inside the bus. The bus driver attempts to start the ignition and no sound is coming. So what does the bus driver do in such moments? Tell the passengers कि लगता है वो बैटरी थोड़ा डाउन है. If you don't mind, can you just push the bus? Now let's say there is a requirement like this of pushing the bus. Will you push the bus? I'll take you on a full day picnic, but bus is not starting. Will you go back home saying bus ही नहीं चल रहा है, bad omen, let me go back home? और would you say अरे धक्का देने का है क्या, बहुत मजा आने वाला है, चलो सब लोग मिलके जोर लगा के हैया. And in about 25-30 meters, the ignition catches, the bus starts, and you feel like Tarzan, as powerful as Iron Man. And you say आज क्या कमाल का काम किया, बहुत अच्छा एक्सरसाइज भी हो गया आज का, अब भूख लग गई, वहां खा के और मजा आएगा. And you sit inside the bus and we reach the venue. Let me give you another scenario. The bus driver is attempting to start the bus. It's not starting. You push the bus. It is still not starting. The bus driver gets down to check under the bonnet what is there. Why it is not starting? Loose wire वगैरह है क्या? And he sees रात को किसी ने इंजन ही चोरी कर लिया. ओइला इंजन ही नहीं है. Then the bus driver looks at all of us and says, my promise was to take you to the venue. I am still willing to take you for the venue. All you need to do is push the bus till the venue, which is about 1.5 hours by travel inside the bus. Now, how many of you will push the bus till the destination? No one will. If you want the world to push you every day so that you can reach your goals, it's not going to happen. Nobody is willing to push you till your destination. They can push you a little for that 25 meters, which is what a motivational speaker can do, which is what a good book can do, which is what a good friend can do, which is what a good teacher and good families would do, which is what Keep Moving movement will also do to you. Every session is that small 25-meter push. And if you don't ignite yourself with self-drive, soon one by one, people will start dropping off and stop giving motivation to you. You might also reach a stage where you might say words like, मुझे ज्ञान नहीं चाहिए. क्यों ज्ञान नहीं चाहिए? Because self-drive nahi hai, and you know you're not going to implement. And therefore the block that you have with the world and life is, I don't want to learn anymore. And what you dream, what you desire, does not become what you deserve. In life, you don't get what you desire, you get what you deserve. And the mantra, the bridge between what you desire and what you deserve, the first part of the formula of the mantra is effort. What kind of an effort? As much effort as required. The second part of the mantra is self-motivated or self-driven effort, where I'm not going to wait for the world to push me. I am going to push myself. And I realize only when it is self-driven can I sustain and enjoy my efforts. Only when it is self-driven, I'll be a button start person and not a kick start person in life. Is self-motivated effort enough? No, it is not. Self-motivated effort that we put has to be refined every now and then. What do I mean by refined self-motivated efforts? Look at the 4 phrases over there. I loved so much insight from Rutuja's speech where she kept on saying, if results have not come, there must be something missing in my effort. Forgive my atrocious Marathi, but kai pan chuk jhala. Something like that is what she said. कहीं कुछ तो मिस्टेक हो गया, कहीं कुछ तो भी मिस हो गया, कहीं कोई तो भी गैप रह गया. All I will do is find that out and put in an improved performance. What is refined? Refined means improved. If my self motivated efforts have not given results, it means it is time for me to improve. And the moment my mind works on improvement, there are these four things which happens to me. I'm not scared of failures anymore. I am not scared of failures anymore. And let's go back to that statement. Fear destroys more than failures. Scared of failures destroys more than failures would. What if I start seeing failures as beneficial in life? What do I see failures as my teachers in life? What if I see failures not as never but not yet? And for that, the mindset that I need is I will improve, I'll become better, I will be refined. I'll improve, I'll become better, I'll be refined. So, first thing which happens is I conquer the fear of failures when I'm willing to improve. Two, when you fail, there are some people who will put you down. When you fail, there are some people who will be sarcastic. When you fail, there are some people who will tell you, I told you so. When you fail, there are some people who love you to the moon and back, but they see you with doubts. And I have gone through this many times in my life. When I have failed, people closest to me will look at me and say, ये कभी नहीं कर पाएगा, इससे नहीं हो पाएगा, इसने एक मिस्टेक किया मतलब पूरी जिंदगी वो मिस्टेक्स ही करेगा अभी. People who love you, they lose faith in you. And that is the time you and me get very badly hurt. यार तुम मुझसे प्यार करते हो, थोड़ा मेरे ऊपर विश्वास रखो. ठीक है, गलती हो गई, लेकिन उससे मैं काफी सुधर चुका हूं, समझ गया कि क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. और गलती जरूरी नहीं है लापरवाही के साथ की, अनजाने में भी हुई होगी. When you are willing to improve and learn, you know how to handle the hurts of your life. The hurts do not stop you anymore. You develop a kind of immunity to hurt. It comes to you, but it doesn't stay over there because you are immune to it. So, coronavirus has come, according to serotest, to about 52% people in Pune. And yet they have not got the disease. It went, generated antibodies in the system, made my immune system stronger, and coronavirus left. The body was immune to coronavirus. Similarly, we'll become immune to hurt when we are willing to improve. The third thing which happens, which is mind-blowing, is when we fail, we check the ladder. Now, what do I mean by this? In his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says, it is not just important to be the first to rise to the top of the ladder on the wall. It is even more important to find out whether your ladder is against the right wall. You reach a few steps up and somebody says this is the wrong wall. Okay. Let's say, for example, you are chasing success and completely ignoring your health. If you do so, after you become successful, you'll have to use all the money that you have earned to regain your health, and it still may not come. Wrong wall. So when I'm willing to improve, I find out whether the ladder is against the right wall or against the wrong wall. And fourth, as I improve, I have this confidence. Okay, I've moved a little closer to success, isn't it? That failure has taught me how to be better, isn't it? Next time I'll avoid that failure. I am closer to success, isn't it? Refined efforts works like magic in our life. So law is, I will not get what I desire. I will get that which I deserve. And the law says there is a mantra which will help you to bridge this gap. And the law says the first part of the mantra is effort. You put effort and results have not come, it means the efforts were not self motivated, hence top class quality was not there. Let's put self motivated efforts. Self motivated effort is not bringing results. It means your self motivated effort is not enough. You have to improve your self motivated effort. When improved or refined self motivated effort is not yet producing results, it means somewhere in my top quality self motivated efforts, consistency is missing. And because consistency is missing, I'm not able to produce results. What is the role of consistency? Look at these beautiful words. Consistency creates habit. Habit becomes our nature. Habit is the place where you and me stay. Enough research says more than 80% of what we do is a result of our habits. The way you prepare is a result of your habit. The way you relate is the result of your habits. The way you think is the result of your habit. The way you sleep, the way you wake up, the way you deal with hurt, the way you deal with possibilities, the way you deal with pressure, everything is a habit. You want to find out who will become a hero in life, who will become a superpower in life, who will become a superhero in life. Who is that glad man? And you will be able to see their habits and say, this person will definitely make it big. So when you listen to a Rutuja speak about how she prepared, how she dealt with pressure, how she dealt with distractions, how did she keep her environment, you can see the number of super habits that she has. And habits are developed through consistency. Habits is the place where you and me stay. We don't stay in things that we do inconsistently. So one day if I do something great, I'm not closer to greatness. And I always mention about Yajuvendra Singh. If I ask you, tell me about a few top class fielders in cricket. You might speak about Roger Binney if you are an old man. You might speak about Jaunty Rhodes if you are in the 40s. You might speak about Virat Kohli in these times. You might speak about Ravindra Jadeja if you are following cricket right now. I don't think any one of you will mention about Yajuvendra Singh. Yet you should know, Yajuvendra Singh holds the world record for the maximum number of catches in any innings ever in the history of cricket. Great fielder. Because there was no consistency. One day greatness does not make anybody great. Consistency is required for things to become a habit, and consistency is what is the final part of this mantra. There is extraordinary importance to this word called momentum. Consistency helps you to be in momentum. Goodwill happens because of consistency. In Pune, if we go to Vaishali restaurant or go gaga about Vaishali restaurant, is because of the consistency of the sambar that we make. And I know enough people who say for the last 30 years the taste has not changed. So they can go there with 1000% confidence. Nobody will dislike the food over there. Bangalore people might say the same about MTR or about A to B. Consistency is the key. Like cycling, you have to consistently keep pedaling. Like my heart, it has to consistently keep beating. Let me give you another very old example. Kapil Dev and Imran Khan were the people who have bowled the minimum number of no balls in the international cricket. So any bowler who's bowled more than 1,000 balls in international cricket, if you have to look at the number of no balls they have bowled, the minimum belongs to Imran Khan and Kapil Dev. And the reason is, even when they would practice in the nets, they will not bowl a no ball. When I talk to my friends who are CEOs of corporates and I ask them, tell me which is that one quality because of which you would like to have people or retain people or pick up people at a premium. Was it intelligence? Was it brilliant marks? I said, no, we would like consistency in their performance. So like Rutuja was saying, I've never come first. I have never come second. I've always come first. And now I'm also first in Pune rural. And tomorrow if she has to go and become a doctor in a top class hospital in the world, they would see somebody who's been very consistent in efforts, in priority, in focus. Compare that to somebody else who took studies for granted till 9th. Did well in 10th, 11th was bunkers again, did well in 12th. First year, second year, third year, fourth year in MBBS, they had enough etiquettes. Final year, they cleared everything properly. Now, if the hospital has an option between somebody like Rutuja who's gone on to become a doctor and this guy, whom will they choose? Consistency. So the good news is, all the dreams that you have can become a reality. The good news is, you can think as big as you want and it can become a reality. The good news is, if you had the courage to give me the video of Bharat at 100 and you very deeply believe that India should be like that, today we have discussed the mantra by which that can become a reality. So the good news is, you are not in the dark anymore कि desire तो है लेकिन किस direction में कैसे काम करूं. It's very simple. You have the desire, today you have the mantra. And with this mantra, you will be able to create what you want to create out of your life. I know some of you are thinking, यार CRSE चारों होगा क्या मेरे से? अरे मेरे भाई और बहन, with the exception of Bharti, of course, there is one place in the world where all of us put CRSE. And I believe all of you do that. And I believe you do it every day. When you sit for potty. है कि नहीं? Do you put the effort or you delegate that work to somebody else? You only put it, no? Is it self-motivated or somebody has to tell you? बेटा तेरा चेहरा देख के लग रहा है तेरे को पॉटी आ रहा है, जरा जाके आना. अम्मा मेरे को थोड़ा आलस आ रहा है. नहीं नहीं बेटा जाके आ, थोड़ा पेट अच्छा हो जाएगा. रोज रोज क्या मैं ही करूं क्या? मतलब ऐसा होता है? Or is it completely self-motivated? And if you sit over there and last time experience was थोड़ा इधर उधर हो गया था, will you not refine your effort properly and go? Last time when you went, maybe the bathroom was closed, will you not ensure that this time it's open? Last time when you went, the water was not coming, will you not ensure this time enough and surplus water is there? And last time थोड़ा इधर उधर proof of your effort was there, will you not ensure this time it is ekdam properly done? And will you do it in installments or will you do it consistently? Will you say, boss, 2-4 minute करेगा, जितना हो ठीक है, नहीं हुआ तो छोड़ दो? Would you prefer wearing adult diapers and move around everywhere? I'm just asking, I'm curious. Or do you put CRSE? Consistent, refined, self-motivated effort. Question is, in potty, if you can put CRSE, you have it in you to put CRSE. Which means any goal and every goal of your life, you have it in you to put CRSE. It's like, I know how to speak in English. I have it in me. Wherever I want, I can speak in English. Imagine me going somewhere and saying, नहीं 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 मैं इंग्लिश में बात नहीं करेगा, and the other person only understands English. अरे मेरे को आता है बोलना इंग्लिश में. Put CRSE, and what you want will become the reality of your life. What is the block? And what happens when there is a block? There is a temple, and in the temple, in the night, when nobody is around, and the pujari has gone to his room to sleep, the marble of the floor is speaking to the marble of the idol. The marble of the floor, in a complaining tone, looks at the marble of the idol and says, Kismat. The marble of the idol laughs and says, Kismat? What do you mean? And the marble of the floor explains, both of us were there in Makarana in Rajasthan. Both of us were there in the same mine. That same mine was sold to the contractor, and both of us were taken out by the same contractor. Both of us was then sold to the same merchant, and both of us were put on the same lorry. Both of us arrived in the same town, and both of us were sold to the same businessman. And both of us were sold to the same customer, the person who wanted to build this temple. Our entire life journey has been the same. But look at Kismat. Today people trample over me, they walk over me, they ignore me, they take me for granted. And today people worship you. What is the difference? Everything between you and me is the same. The idol of the marble of the idol smiled and replied to the marble of the floor, you're absolutely right. Both of us were there in Makarana in Rajasthan. Both of us were there in the same mine. Both were sold to the same contractor. Both were sold to the same merchant. Both of us purchased by this, were kept in the same lorry. Both of us traveled to the same city. Both were sold to the same trader. And both were sold to the same man who wanted to build this temple. But one day when the sculptor came with a chisel and hammer, you looked at it and said, I don't want to go through this. Allow me to be the way I am. मेरे को effort नहीं डालने का है. I don't want to go through the pain. I don't want to improve. I don't want to remove the unwanted parts. And hence, he had no option but to put you on the floor. And I offered myself to his hands and say, do what you feel like. Because I offered myself to be refined. It took him months to create me, and consistently I was there. Nobody motivated me to make that choice. I made it. And I did everything I could to cooperate with him. As a result of which, I have today become the idol, and you are still on the floor. My darling friends, every now and then we will be tested by life. In fact, the most brutal part of my life was when I had to quit studies, take up a job and fend for the family. I had to leave Calcutta, go to Chennai. I had no time for friends. Well, I had no friends. There was never enough money. And relaxing was like a sarcastic word. During those times, I cursed life and God and everybody else. I was on a big sympathy trip. But that was 30 years ago. Today, if I am what I am, because I have lived by this formula, have a dream big, मजा आना चाहिए, and then put CRSA. Even this dream of Bharat at 100, it's big, right? We want to create a revolution in the mind of children, but we are willing to put CRSE to make it happen. Just give me a few more minutes. All of us are very good at rationalizing. Rationalizing why it is okay to be very, very ordinary and why it is okay to be a mediocre. All of us are very good at rationalizing. Actually, I am very busy, I don't have time. Therefore, a big dream and goal, pata nahi kya hoga. Our rationalization helps us to process the world, navigate our choices, and live within ourselves. But let me tell you something. Gravity doesn't care if you got enough sleep last night or not. In the morning when you wake up, it will implement the same kind of force on you. The pavement does not care. Every day you have worn the helmet, and only one day you did not wear the helmet because you wanted to take a shoot. There is a pigment called melanoma. That does not care whether you have put sunscreen or not. You can always rationalize and say, I was so busy, I could not go back inside the house and implement it. Outside forces don't care about your situations in life. Because outside forces have no awareness, no memory, they simply are. Newton's law does not care that you were distracted just for 5 seconds and that's why you were not wearing a seat belt. The virus does not care. You are a very good human being who wanted to help your friend, hence it should not come to you. Existence does not care to make you and your job in life easy. Existence just cares enough to find out, do you deserve it or not? And when you deserve it, it gives you with both hands open. Then it is chappar fadke. My request to all of you, identify any one goal in your life where you have decided to put CRSA. एक कमाल का गोल कम से कम. It can be the same thing that you're doing in Bharat at 100. It can be something else, but something which will give you the power and momentum of life. If earlier you have not submitted your video about Bharat at 100, maybe you were hesitating, thinking, how will I do big things? Today you have got the mantra to do it. And this is what you're going to do inside the classroom with children. You're going to tell them, you have not submitted your videos, maybe because you were thinking you will not be able to do it. Today you have the mantra to get it done. Another beautiful thing that we are doing is, it's not compulsory to send videos of 1 minute. You can even send a note, a small essay of 250 to 300 words in the same direction. For the kids, we have a lot of plan on Bharat of 100. And to end this session, encourage them about Bharat at 100 once again. We have plans to have brilliant mentors who are going to guide them across the next few years. We have plans to bring in industry experts and very high profile, high flying people from across the country and across the globe to mentor them. All they need to do is send a video, send an essay, have it complete which answers those questions. How do they visualize Bharat to be at 100? What's the role that you're going to play? This is that little self-motivated effort they need to put in this direction for somebody else to also play their role and refine them. In every session, we'll motivate children to put Bharat at 100. Let's see how many videos we can connect, how many children we can involve. Because like Rutuja, the beginning happens with a goal. If she had not committed herself to 99 point something percent, she wouldn't have reached there. So it's good that we make children feel good inside the classroom, but it is imperative, compulsory, for you to give them a dhasu goal in their life. They lose nothing by setting a goal, but they have possibilities of gaining crazy things in life by setting a goal. And my appeal is the same for you. Dare and care. Don't scare. With daring and caring, along with all that we are discussing in KMM this year, go and create magic inside the classroom. Create magic in your own life. And let this year 2020 not be remembered for coronavirus, but for KMM sessions which created a revolution in our life. Thank you so much for this little extra time. I wish all of you all the best. Love you loads and Jai Hind.